Alfonso Ribeiro is a household name, known for bringing to life one of the most iconic TV characters ever, Carlton Banks on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. But there's something that has puzzled fans for over 15 years. Why hasn't Alfonso worked with Tyler Perry? It's not like he wasn't in demand or that he didn't have the talent. Yet, throughout the rise of Perry's empire, Ribeiro remained silent. So, what was behind his decision to keep his distance? For years, fans speculated about why Alfonso never joined Perry's shows or made a cameo. He was successful, talented, and certainly available. But no roles, no collaborations, nothing. It didn't seem to add up. Was it a matter of personal choice? Or was there something more at play that kept him out of Perry's orbit? As we dive deeper into the story, one thing becomes clear. Alfonso Ribeiro's decision to stay away from Tyler Perry Studios isn't just a career choice. It's a message. And after recent revelations from other actors, his silence begins to make much more sense. When The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air ended in 1996, Alfonso Ribeiro was at a crossroads. He had just completed one of the most iconic roles in television history, but the fame that came with it was a double-edged sword. Hollywood didn't see him as anything other than Carlton Banks. Despite his talent, offers for serious roles were few and far between. The impact of being pigeonholed was immediate and harsh. Despite his desire to prove himself in other roles, Ribeiro was often told, "You're Carlton, you're stuck with that." It's an all-too-familiar tale for actors who break out in a beloved role. Once you define yourself in the public eye, it becomes nearly impossible to escape that shadow. By the early 2000s, the entertainment industry was changing rapidly, but Alfonso's situation remained the same. Hollywood was evolving, favoring fresh faces and flashy new talent, yet he was still struggling to break out of the mold. The more he tried to prove himself, the more he seemed to fade into the background. In the mid-2000s, Tyler Perry was quickly transforming from an emerging filmmaker to an entertainment mogul. He had built his own studio, an empire centered on creating content for Black audiences, and had already established himself as one of the most influential figures in the industry. With a loyal fan base and creative control over his projects, Perry's rise seemed unstoppable, and he offered a space where overlooked actors like Alfonso Ribeiro could find a fresh start. For an actor like Alfonso, who was desperate to redefine his career, Tyler Perry Studios seemed like the perfect place to do it. Perry had a reputation for taking risks on actors who were considered past their prime or who had struggled to find new roles, and his shows were making waves in Black entertainment. Perry's growing success and influence gave the impression that aligning with him could offer the second chance Alfonso so desperately needed. The timing of Perry's rise was too important to ignore. Alfonso was watching from the sidelines as Perry became a gatekeeper for Black talent in Hollywood, but something was off. He wasn't auditioning for Perry's projects, and there wasn't any public mention of collaboration. The question remained, why didn't Alfonso step into this world? Was it just a missed opportunity, or was there more to the story? While Tyler Perry's empire grew, Alfonso Ribeiro quietly distanced himself from the spotlight. His social media presence began to change. What once was lighthearted and positive shifted into something more cryptic and guarded. Alfonso posted subtle messages that made people wonder if there was more going on behind the scenes. One post read, "Sometimes the audition is just a setup. Be careful who's really watching," leaving fans to speculate on the deeper meaning behind his words. This shift in tone wasn't just a random phase, it was calculated. Alfonso's refusal to speak out directly about Tyler Perry's world spoke volumes. His vague posts about dignity and career boundaries were a far cry from the brash headlines of other celebrities, but they were just as revealing. It was almost as though Alfonso had seen things behind closed doors, things he wasn't ready to talk about yet. For years, Alfonso played the game of Hollywood politics without truly engaging with the powers that be. His choice to stay quiet wasn't about being bitter or resentful. It was about protecting his career. He understood the risks of crossing someone as powerful as Tyler Perry, someone who had the ability to make or break careers. Over time, whispers about Tyler Perry's casting practices began to gain attention, and the truth behind his empire started to unravel. In 2021, Actor Christian Keyes went public with disturbing revelations about inappropriate propositions in exchange for roles. He shared shocking details of how Perry allegedly offered him money to take his clothes off without any physical contact, creating a coercive and exploitative dynamic. For Alfonso Ribeiro, who had stayed out of this world for years, these allegations started to shed light on his own choices. While he had never directly accused Perry of anything, his cryptic social media posts and refusal to work with him were starting to be seen in a new light. Could Alfonso have been avoiding these very same advances? His silence over the years now seemed like a protective measure, shielding himself from a system that demanded compliance in exchange for opportunities. As the lawsuit filed by actor Derek Dixon later revealed even darker details, it became clearer that Alfonso's absence from Perry's shows wasn't just a missed opportunity. It was a refusal to participate in an environment where boundaries were routinely pushed and career opportunities were tied to far more than talent. His quiet withdrawal, which once seemed like a simple career misstep, now looked like a deliberate decision to avoid compromising his dignity. In hindsight, Alfonso Ribeiro's decision to step away from Tyler Perry's world wasn't just a career choice. It was an act of quiet resistance. While others struggled to navigate the power structures of Hollywood, Alfonso chose a different path. His silence, once perceived as bitterness or a lack of interest, now feels like a strategic move to protect his dignity. He wasn't ready to compromise who he was for a role, no matter how tempting the opportunities may have seemed. As more and more actors began to speak out about the manipulative tactics they faced in the industry, Alfonso's story stands as a powerful reminder of the unseen battles actors face behind closed doors. His long silence may have kept him out of the spotlight, but it also allowed him to remain true to himself. In a world where silence is often mistaken for weakness, Alfonso's quiet refusal to engage with Perry's system might have been one of the most powerful statements he could have made. With lawsuits and testimonies stacking up, the truth about the power dynamics in Hollywood is finally starting to emerge. And perhaps it's no coincidence that it's the quiet ones, the ones who stepped away, who refused to play the game, who are starting to have their voices heard. Alfonso Ribeiro's decisions over the years were more than just career moves. They were a message, and now, it's one we're all starting to understand.